Hey, what's going on, guys? Tonight we're back in the shop working on the Comanche. Tonight we're going to be doing some more bracing. So in my last video, or one of my last videos, I had made a custom track bar brace that ran from one side of the unibody to the other side. If you haven't seen that video, go to my page, check it out. But tonight we will be bracing up the steering box. So Barnes4WD has just come out with this Cherokee / Comanche steering box brace that bolts right up, and it clamps onto the steering box and braces on both sides. I actually have mine right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on, and the only concerns that I have is that I have a PSC steering box. It's just one of their boxes right off the shelf. It's already drilled, tapped, and it's a lot larger than a factory Cherokee steering box or a Comanche steering box. So what I may do is, Barnes sent all the brackets and everything that you would need if you just had a normal steering box, or probably even a Durango steering box. But what I'll probably have to do is just get like maybe 1/2 inch longer grade 8 bolts, which I got plenty of those around the shop, so that shouldn't be an issue. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the Jeep up, and then that way, you can do it on the ground, but it just be for video quality and everything like that. I'm gonna put the Jeep up in the air. All right. Ooh, so nice. Come with the bolts. There's the steering box brace. All right. Pretty heavy. So what I will be doing is I will be mocking this up. So this clamp right here is pretty self-explanatory. It goes around right where the steering box and the pitman arm meet, that coupling. It goes right there, and it's obviously got the grade 8 bolts. So the first step that I'm doing, I'll be disconnecting my sway bar. Some of y'all will probably have to unbolt them, but mine, they just very, very loosely come apart. Probably too loosely come apart, but that's a fix for later. And then I'll be taking a 15 millimeter, and I will be taking the sway bar off of the Jeep. So I got it painted with just some paint and primer on here. I forgot to paint these, but these are the clamps that clamp on. So right here, one goes right there, one right there, then the bolts, I got to get the longer ones, but so mine is just a little bit bigger on here. So I'll show you. So right here, this is where it actually clamps onto, and this section right here is larger than a factory one. So what I'll be doing right here is, these are the bolts that Barnes sent. I will be putting those in the last hole, the holes most towards the rear of the vehicle. Get this started. Alright, and I'm just doing those barely even hand tight, just to kind of give me some wiggle room, so when I get that clamp on, it's all nice and happy. So now what I will be doing, I will be putting the sway bar back on. And this would be a really good time to check your sway bar bushings, just to make sure they're not worn out and old like mine. But it'll be all right. It'll be all right for right now. What I'm gonna do is try to figure out how I'm gonna put this on. Like I said, Barnes sent all the bolts to replace these right here. So, putting sway bars on, it's never pretty. Now I'll be putting the back bolts in. Or not the back bolts, but the middle bolts. So this right here, I've got it still loose because I got to be able to put that bracket through here. But man, is this thing super beefy. But that is awesome. I could have done a better job painting it. I'm fully aware, but it's alright. And there's that track bar brace that I put on. I've put about 100 miles on this Jeep, and man, it is a total different machine with this brace. It handles so much better on and off road. And so I imagine once I brace this up, it's gonna help out. I really wasn't having, before the unibody cracks, I wasn't having any wandering issues, but still, you don't want it to prematurely wear parts out, especially unibody. And I've heard of Cherokees, they right here by the steering box, they crack all the way around. Yeah, sorry about all the noise outside. It's starting to rain, and on this metal shop it may get loud, but what I got right here is the painted Barnes brackets. I got some a little bit longer grade 8 bolts to kind of wrap around this PSC steering box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the bolts outward. So I'm just going to persuade it in here. I still got it pretty loose, so I've got plenty of wiggle room. So now I'm putting this bracket on the back side of it, which will clamp on to my steering box. You know, that'll be distributing out the load, so whenever I'm going up a rock or even going down the road, you know, the steering box, you know, there's a pressure applied to it. So now it'll be evenly distributed between this side and to this side, and also clamped down. So it's not just the bolts holding down the unibody. So I'm gonna throw these in. All right, I think I got y'all a better angle now. But like I said, these are the bolts right here. Just gonna push those on. Washer and locking nut, and I'm just gonna loosely push these on. So how I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna tighten, kind of go back and forth, like I'm gonna bring this all the way up and then tighten or snug these and then finish tighten these down. So the last thing that I'm gonna tighten is gonna be this bracket right here, because I don't want to tighten it down here and then this is getting pushed up, so then it's trying to push up on my steering box. So you just kind of got to make sure everything is playing nice all the way through. So I'm going to tighten these up. Not tighten, but bring it up. And you see how that came right up. Got it all bolted up. Got the bracket wrapped around the steering box, bracing that in. Now all I got to do is lower it down and put the sway bar back on. But we got everything, all this torqued down the way it should be right here. Man, that thing is, I'm excited to drive it to see how different it's going to feel. I mean, I wasn't having any slop or anything, but it's definitely got to be a lot more responsive. But huge shout out to Barnes4WD. They've really helped out and came through a lot on this Comanche. I'll be posting some videos and talking about everything they helped me with on this Jeep. But that's going to do it. I appreciate y'all watching.